Okay, so this has been top stitched across the top here. Now we're going to take this and match it right here and make sure all of the edges of our backpack are matched up. So all the edges are good right here. We're going to pin this in place so that our pins are like this so that the backpack will stay in place while we are sewing the inside. Okay, so these pins are going to hold everything in place. And if you listen closely, you can hear these guys laughing in the background. Okay, so now that everything's held into place and it's been pressed so I know where to when I turn it inside out so that I know exactly where to fold it. One thing that needs to be done too is this needs to be trimmed off. So we could do that now. We have a little fold there. Thank you. So we're going to trim this off so that it looks nice and everything looks even. And the interfacing is on the back of the backpack, on the back of the pocket, on the back of the backpack to add strength, stability, and shape. And in this case, it's for strength. Okay, so we can move that out of the way. We're going to take this, open it up. You can see where we pressed it right there. There's our pocket. And to make sure that you don't have any problems, you can pin this in place so that we know where everything goes. And if you noticed, I only pinned through the top layer of the backpack. So now we're going to flip this over. And here's our fold. And we know that we need to get that folded right on that fold that's been pressed into the material or our fabric. And we're matching up all of the notches on all of the sides. Okay, and once it's all in place, and everything's in place, we're going to sew this one so that the big part of our project, and we can press this too, okay, we're going to sew this part, we're going to pin this so that it's to the side of the 5/8 seam. And since we're going to sew, our project goes to the outside of the sewing machine, the bigger part, we're going to sew from the bottom on both sides. So on this side, we're making sure that we have the notches all matched and pin it all the way down. Okay, and then we should have, they're hard to see, but there's 2 dots that we marked. We cannot sew between those 2 marks. So what we're going to do, I'm going to mark where that is right here with my pins. And the other one is right here. So I'm going to go to my sewing machine, and on a 5/8 inch seam I'm going to back stitch here and sew all the way down to where it's pinned, where the dot was marked, back stitch there, lift up my sewing machine and pull it forward, back stitch here and come off to the edge right there and back stitch. Now because I have to sew both sides from the bottom up so that my project doesn't twist, I'm now going to take this and flip it over to the other side here and pin inside the 5/8 all the way down. Until I get to the 2 dots that are marked. And if you look closely, you can see that this particular student marked the backpack, the front and the back, so that they wouldn't get that mixed up with a pencil. Okay, and then I need to mark where his dots are right here. And the other dot is here. So I'm also sewing on this side, the opposite side from where I pinned before. I'm going to back stitch here on a 5/8 inch seam and come all the way down and back stitch, or come all the way down to the dot. Back stitch here, pull it forward, back stitch here, come here and back stitch.